What can I say but welcome to the River Wye in Hereford. This is something that Preston Innovations, myself and Zolt wanted to do for a very, very long time, was to bring the cameras out, get on the River Wye with a stick float, stroke bollo, and try and catch some quality fish. And that's exactly what we've done today. We are on a Hereford stretch. I'm not even know what it's called. It's a day ticket. You can obviously join it as a yearly permit as well. And thanks to the Hereford for letting us on here to do it. And this is something like I think that I used to do when I was a kid. I used to fish rivers with stick floats. And I think for a lot of people out there, they're probably a little bit scared about it. And that's why we've brought the cameras here today to show you exactly what it's all about. I'm not sure what we're going to catch. It's a little bit nippy this morning. The water was really surprisingly cold when we actually got out, obviously in the chest waders. I've got my kit set up behind Zolt there, got my platform, got my box, we're all nice and comfortable. Hopefully the fish will play ball. We try and keep it simple. So we've got hemp, meat and pellets. I have brought a few maggots just in case, but I think they're absolute waste of time on this river at the moment. So there you go. Let's get back to the kit, run you through all the gear and obviously, hopefully, how we're going to catch these barbel and chub. Just started. This might seem a little bit crazy because most rivers and that you start with maggots. In there I've got a mixture of hemp and meat. I've got some pellets as well. I've got some marine green 6 mils, and obviously I've never fished this stretch before and it is very, very shallow. I thought it actually deepened off as you go over, but on this bit it doesn't. We actually plumbed up and it's probably like 4 foot maximum, I reckon, all the way across the river. So we've just started. I'm just chucking in meat and hemp mixed together, makes it nice and simple. Stick float on there at the moment. I've got a 8 number 4 alley stem stick float. Lovely little floats, nice thick bristle. I mean, I might have to set a wag. I actually set a bollo up and the bollo is no good at all today. It's a waste of time. It's just too pacey, too boily. And as soon as I put this stick on, you could tell it was much, much better. Simple bulk, and I got 2 number 8 droppers. I got a big bulk of number 8s. And on there I've got a 15 centimetre length of 015 power line, and I've got a size 12 N30 hook, which obviously is barbed, it's natural water fishing, and hopefully, who knows what we're going to catch. The only thing I've got Zolt is I've got Zolt walking in and out of the river, probably frightening everything, but we'll get going.
Stop finding excuses.
And I'm not going to fish out very far. It is boily, it is pacey, but if we can catch fish in it, that might have been the bottom then. So obviously it's very, very shallow, like I said, but don't be afraid. Those fish, I think where we are here, we probably could have gone out about another, possibly a metre, but there's a nice little crease, probably 2 rod lengths out, which is about standard for river fishing. If you've never done stick float fishing at all, give it a go, because it is absolutely amazing, especially on a river like the Wye. If you get on fish on here, you can have the best days fishing you've ever had in your life. I might have to adjust that. Obviously the problem is with meat, obviously every time you strike, you bring it back in, you've got to put another piece of meat on. I've got 6 mil meat on there at the moment, and I'm sure, I think with maggots and stuff, I think we'll just get absolutely hammered by little fish. The Wye is absolutely full of bleak, you know, smaller dace and fish like that. In the winter, obviously it's completely different, but this time of year, obviously you are looking to fish different baits like pellets and meat to get through those small fish and get the bigger fish. So I'm fishing with a 14-foot rod because it is much, much easier to get the line behind your float. I'm just letting it run at pace. I'm not holding it back too much. Look at that, that was a bite. Absolutely flew under. And you'll find that with pacey parts of the river, the bites will be 100 miles an hour because the bait is going past them really, really quickly. So I'm chucking that just downstream, chuck some bait behind it downstream and letting it run. It's very, very clear today. So just let that run. I've undershotted the float just slightly because of the actual current of the river. Oh, hello, there's a fish. Not a big fish, but it's the first fish of the day. That's the main thing. What's that? Whee, look at that. Little chub on a 6mm piece of meat, incredible. And the Wye in areas are absolutely littered with chub like that. It's great fishing, and when you catch a fish in this flow, when you hook a fish, probably like, I don't know, hopefully we'll hook a few bigger fish, it'll probably feel like it's 10 pounds trying to play it in that flow. So just slightly downstream, like 1 o'clock, chuck your bait in about 1 to 2. So your bait, so everything's trying to go down together. You've got to be on it very quick. Result, I do some filming of my fingers, what I'm doing with my finger on the spool. I don't think there'll be many fish down the peg. I think they'll all be very close to where you're feeding. And I think it will take some time to get the fish feeding. That piece of meat's still on there, that's handy. So I hold it like that. So I grab the hook length and I've got my hook bait probably sticking out of the bottom of my fingers like that, probably like 2 or 3 inches. Bell arm over, finger on the bell arm, and I'll just pinch it then. Once that's slack, I pinch it like that, bring it round and let it go. It's something you need to go and practice. This is the sort of fishing I used to do years and years ago. There we go, look at that, right in the feed that was. Not sure what that is, another little chub or a dace I think. Look at that, lovely dace. Look at the condition of them. Get this gorger on him. Beautiful 4-ounce dace. So just don't always chuck your bait downstream, because otherwise the feet, especially in a match situation, there'll be someone above you, and if you're not careful you lose a fish. So you can chuck that sort of just in front and then chuck your bait downstream a little bit and you're running into it then. And then get really concentrating like that. Look at that. We've only been fishing for like 5 minutes. And there's fish in that already. Another dace. Never been caught. Every one of them looks like it's just brand spanking new. So again, I'll get it like that. Hold the line like that. Get your bell on where you want it. Finger on there. Then I let go of that. So I've got my 2 fingers, my finger and my thumb. And then bring it round. And then use the weight to do that. And then just control it downstream. Bring that float into your feed. Let it go. Like that, that was a bite. You've got to be on it very, very quickly. You've got to keep feeding. I think we're going to go through, I would say, I've got some more meat with me. I've done 2 tins up, but we could end up going through possibly 4 tins. Probably 5 to 6 pints of hemp on a session like this. No point messing about. I'll throw a few pellets in as well. Look at that, that's nice, that's lovely that. So I'm not holding back to, I'm letting it sort of go like the speed of the river. Sort of gone out of the zone that now. Miles down my peg. Too far down your peg really. Unless it was a real hard day. Absolutely pointless. And you'll find that on a river like the Wye. Everything is where your bait goes in. There's like a clump of fish there. You know, you might get runs today of catching and then nothing. So down like that. I think most of the bites will be coming very, very sort of probably within the first 20 feet of where you put your feet in, where you put your bait in, really. So I got my back wind set off, double handle reel, little 320 SD. Just a little system like that, a little bit of bend in the rod, in downstream a little bit. A few leaves coming off the trees now, autumn's definitely, oh, look at that. Just thinking possibly of setting, I've got all sorts of different floats here. I brought a selection of, but one thing I have brought is some dumpy balsa wagglers. Now on the day in pacey water like that, they can be absolutely mega because they just fish themselves. We might set one up in a bit. I might take that bollo float, I'll set a bollo up, I'll put it out there, and I said to Zolt, that is absolutely a waste of time. It's just dancing around too much in the pacey water. It's just not the float for that today. Oh, look at that. Straight into the feed, that. That's a slightly better fish. Feels about £8 on this flow. Look at that. Nice chub. Yeah, beautiful that, isn't it? Nothing down. Oh, there's a bit of meat down his throat. Always have a quick look with chub, see what they've been eating. Obviously they're eating my bait. But that was in it. That was right in it. So just get into that system like that. So in, out, in like that. Feed. I'm trying to stay near the bottom because there is obviously barbel about. I mean, we all know what barbel are like. They're not, they might take some, there's quite a few barbel hangers about this area. The only thing with the Wye, it's a bit like the Trent. Most of it is a downstream wind. So it makes presentation a lot more difficult. If there was a nice upstream wind today, it would make it that much easier. But I've been on the Trent well, not lots of times, but quite a lot of times over the years, and every single time it's a downstream wind. So don't mess about feeding. Look at that. That would have been a chub or a dace. But we'll have a go on this for a bit. And I can always come off the bottom a little bit. I am just about touching bottom there. It is very, very shallow, but there's obviously lots of fish here. And I don't think there'll be anything at all here in the winter. They'll probably all be gone. They are. Definitely starting to get a few more bites there. Right in that feedo is literally like, if it goes 15 feet down, the only thing you might hook is maybe a barbel, which is hanging down the peg a little bit. Oh, yes. Only a small fish. That rod is absolutely superb. Nice tippy action. But it's also got the backbone, which is what you want when you're stick float fishing, waggler fishing on natural waters. You need a rod that gives you the action you need to strike and get your rig out, but also the backbone if you do hook a bonus fish like a bigger chub, or especially on the Wye when you've got to be swinging a lot of the fish, you can do it easily. So in like that, I'll get into it in a minute. Takes me a while because I don't do it every week. Just got to concentrate. Oh, should have had that. Right, well, we've been going for a little while. We've had a few sort of chub up to about £1.5, I reckon. But the dace are playing ball. There's an odd chub. The dace are getting there before anything else at the moment, but they ain't easy to catch. So I've set up another little stick. So I took the bollo off because that just didn't seem right. And I've put a little baby 4x4 alloy stem stick on. Strung out number 8, it's only a 4x4, 4 number 4 rather. But you can see the dace actually coming up for the hempen meat. And I'm just like letting it run through it. Try and get the, there's one there, look. The good sized dace though. I think there's an odd chub in there, but the dace are getting there before the chub at the moment. They're lovely dace. But really on the bottom or nearer the bottom at the moment ain't really worth bothering with. Look at that. I mean, incredible, isn't it? You can come on a river like the Wye and catch dace like that. On meat, it's absolutely crazy. I think we probably should do a bit more of that on some of the other rivers that we fish. So in the moment I've just changed over to the 15-foot rod. Just like you can see, I'm probably fishing about, well, I was fishing about 6 inches deep with that tangle. Zolt would be happy about that. I know you'd be happy about that, Zolt. He loves the tangle, Zolt.
Tell us about what happened like.
Oh, Zolt, I've had a loop in me line. The first one today.
Anyway,
So anyway, let's get on to it. So I'm flicking it out, just pulling it back a little bit. Feeding downstream. Oh, it's so hard because you know every fish, most bites you get are like 6 to 8 ounces. But you can probably tell I've put my hoodie on. It's actually quite nippy. The water, when I got in the water this morning, I did say to Zolt, I said, that water feels really cold.
Yeah.
And it is that time of year now where things are changing. So I'm just going to let that run through. Not really holding back really. Not really that, it just wanted to go through the pace of the river. It's odd. The problem is at the minute, there's a few little fish about. Don't think there's that, I don't think there's many chub here at the moment. It's quite nice really, because it's not been like completely like, oh, you do one thing, I've had to take this float off or take the bollo off because I just didn't think that was right. The only other option is a little waggler. But we've caught some nice fish on this little stick. Actually just fishing like on, you know, in nice and shallow in the feed. I can't really show you what Zolt's doing now, but he's actually trying to follow my float down with a GoPro. And he wonders why I can't get a bite whilst we're filming. But I would have thought he's got some nice footage actually. And the water is very, very clear. I will go down a little bit more. I reckon I'm fishing about half depth at the moment. And I've gone through like 3 pints of bait already. There we go. Nice dace. Them chub, I think them chub are definitely not playing ball at the moment. Look at that. You can actually now and again see these dace coming up and taking the hempen meat. But if you just watch now, I'll just go through it again. Exactly the same process. But I'm just letting that go in and just pouring it. Just keep everything tight. Throwing down. I'm throwing bait slightly further downstream. Oh, how did I miss that? It's like you want to be, it's like you've got to flick it in, drag it upstream, feed, and you've got to be right in your loose feed. And you get a much, much better bite then. But there is literally nothing downstream. Very, very, I think I've caught one chub around about a pound that ran down me peg, but everything is literally right in the feed there. Yeah, that's a little one, that's on maggots. See, I think there's a few of them little dace there as well, which you just got to try and get through them to get the better quality. I've tried pellets, I can't really get any bites on pellets. So I've just struck there, missing indication, just let it come in, let it go down again. There you go. Slightly better one. Nice fish, you know. This is probably where it might be a day where you just want a load of maggots. That was on 3 reds. They don't mess about on the Wye. It is very, you know, size 12, 14 hooks. It's a very, very special river. I've got Zolt, actually, probably not far from where I'm fishing at the moment. He thinks it's funny, but... So let's try and do that again. So straight in that feed. Oh. So I've just struck, just come in a little bit, just let it run again. There you go. So you get 2 bites at the cherry. Beautiful fishing. Not quite as big on the old free maggots though, them dace, the big ones. But I think a lot of the time, some of the times on meat, these are trying to eat the meat and can't quite take it in. That's why you get them fast dinks, but at least they're a nice size. I have got a few maggots, I haven't brought loads. I could start feeding a few. But I think the hemp keeps them going. We're just hoping, possibly, maybe not, you don't never know with those barbel. There might be an odd barbel down below on the deck, and maybe later on, a bit later in the session, we can have a go on the deck and maybe hook one. Just had, right at the bottom of the peg where we've not really caught a lot, it's just started kicking off. I reckon we've been fishing for 3 hours and you could just tell the chub, we've started catching some chub. Not the big ones, but I've just latched into this. I think this is a big chub. I've not seen it yet. I was hoping it was going to be a barbel, but I just don't think it's fighting that hard. I can just see it there. It looked like a chub, but it's a decent one, which is lovely. Oh yeah, nice chub that. Oh yeah, come on. Felt like, that's a good one actually. In this flow. Oh yeah, that's a nice chub. And all we're doing now, this little stick float, sorry, look at him. And I think they've just moved up. I'll tell you what that is, that's £4 that. That's an absolute stunning River Wye chub. The best float is what I changed to, is a little 4x4 alloy stem, strung out number 8s, and literally, and them M30s don't come out when they go in, let me tell you. Look at that. Well, I'm playing something here now. Things have definitely heated up. I'm not sure. I'm praying this is a barbel. It's staying really, really deep. But I don't know. I think it might be a big chub. We've just started catching some dace, some big dace, big chub. Keep the bait going in. I'm sure, but hoping it's a barbel. I don't think it is. I don't think it's kicking enough for a barbel. Oh, I don't know actually. So I've just got that clutch set. Oh, come on. We've just kept going. Oh, come on, Mr. Barbel. I don't think it is a barbel because normally they kick. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Salt. It's a barbel. Oh, that's how they should kick, and he's just started doing it. And that was just slightly down the peg. It's definitely changed. It's changed. It's like the bigger fish have just started feeding. We've had a few pound and a half chub. It don't get better, does it, that? Only a little one. Now Zolt's never caught a barbel.
I did
When?
last year
Yeah, not on a river, did you? What, on a stick float?
on the trend bar on the feeder.
Yeah, that don't count. So whatever happens today, when we finish, Zolt will be on here, as long as we don't run out of bait. Oh, look at that. Oh, Jesus, they got some power. And like I said, it's in this part of this film, if you've never done this, honestly, get yourself a nice sort of 13, 14, 15 foot rod. The amazing thing is, I've set a bollo up, which I've taken off. I really thought that'd be like the rig today, and it's not. I think the water's gone cold. There might have been a load of rain or something. Well, it can't be much rain because the river's still really clear. But something's happened because the water is absolutely freezing. You certainly wouldn't want to be going swimming in here today. So just stuck with that meat. That was a lovely bite. It sort of went like that and then just went wallop. So that little 4 number 4 stick. Oh, he's just tangled around his dorsal at the moment. Oh no, don't. Yeah, look at that, that line's gone straight round his dorsal. Gotta go really careful with this. You can see that. See if I can just flick it off by playing him slightly downstream. Come on, baby, get off that dorsal. That'd be like a pair of scissors on my main line, that will. Let's just get it off, see if it'll come off. It's definitely gone around his dorsal. Just hope it comes off a minute. I'm just going to put this one in the net because it is very near the end of the session. There's plenty of flow on it. It's not hot today. The water is cold. I can't believe that's gone around his dorsal like that. Absolutely mad. God, that flow on the river. Look at that. That's a trap around his dorsal, look. Isn't that absolutely mad? I don't care as long as it goes in the net, to be honest. Oh. No, he's not happy. Oh. Still going around his dorsal. Look at that. It's been a tricky old day today to try and catch the quality. Oh, that's it. It's come off now. That's good. Now it's going to go absolutely mad, I reckon. Keep that bait going in because once he starts feeding. Just looking for a 30-pound pike now to come up and grab it. Look at that. Yes, sirree. That's made, I don't care what happens now. That has made my day. A River Wye barbel on the stick float. Look at that. Absolutely pristine. The gudgeon. Imagine the gudgeon being that size. Look at that. I'm going to put him in the net because we're not far off of finishing the session now. And whatever happens, that has made my day, and I think it's probably made Zolt's day. Exactly. So let's get him back. Yeah, you can see that dorsal. Just be nice and gentle with him. Just put him upstream a bit. He'll be absolutely fine. He's only a little one. There you go. He's gone. So let's have another go. Awesome. Solid with barbel now.
No.
Yeah. Well, I've just put a 2.5 pound barbel in the net, and Zolt was telling me off, saying we should have finished on that. And I said, no, come on, we'll have another one. Next chuck in, I think I got another barbel on. And this is what it's all about. Keep feeding. We have gone through about 5 pints of bait up to now. That's a better fish, that Zolt. Oh, has it snagged me up? No, that is holding the bottom like a true barbel does. This is when you want 8 pound main line and 6 pound bottom. But we haven't. We've got £6 main line and a £5 bottom. But to be fair, 015 power line, that £6 float max takes some beating, to be honest. As long as you've got your clutch set, I've taken my back wind off, obviously. Keep that bait going in. We actually stopped for a little bit. I said as well, we need to put some more meat in. And my mix has definitely got a bit more meat in it. But whatever happens, we have had a fantastic day's fishing. I think with the water being cold, even when we got in this morning with chesties on, I was quite shocked how cold the water was. I really thought like you could get in here today. On the way up this morning, it was only 10, 11 degrees. So it is that time of year now when things do start getting a bit cooler. That's 100% a barbel. Just trying to keep my rod nice and high. This is what, as well, what I said about the rods, the Superior X rods we do. They're tippy, but look at the strength they've got for that sort of middle section. And that's what you need. Doesn't matter if you're fishing for roach, dace, these rods can do everything. That's a lovely barbel, that. Let's just keep that bait going in. Got a little run, it's like you always do on your river fishing. You always find a little sweet spot. Oh yeah, a little bit bigger than the last one. I'm not even bothered, to be honest. I don't want them too big. So I've just got that clutch set nice. Certainly not going to rush it. I've actually tied these hooks up years ago when they first come out, and I knew they'd come into use sometime or another. So when I went to Bulgaria on the World Championships, and I tied some N30s up to 015 power line for waggler fishing. But you can buy the pre-tied ones on the spools. I just thought, well, I'll just use them. They've been left in the dark and they're absolutely fine, as you can probably tell. And this is going to be the last fish of the session because I want Zolt to catch a barbel on a stick float. And we've had a great day. We're not going to be going home by any means.
Not a chance.
But we've only got so much battery. Oh, look at that. You could tell straight away it was a barbel. I said, oh, that's another one. It just sat there like you've hooked the bottom. You've got to go, if you're an angler like me, I think I've been quite lucky in my fishing career that I've gone river fishing to commercials. But if you haven't done river fishing, honestly, for just a reel, a rod, a couple of stick floats, a few hooks, you can use your commercial gear, just change your rod and your floats basically. And the River Wye is the place to go. I know Zolt's been trying to catch a barbel on his local River Don because he lives up north now. And he can't do it, but it might be the day. Oh, come on, baby. Look at that. God, absolute powerhouse. Plus Zolt is stood right out in the... I wish I could take a picture of it, really, but I can't. Keep that bait going in for him. That's been the best Rigo, that 4 number 4 little alloy stick. For some reason, that little strung out rig has been absolute must. I've changed things around today a little bit. I've tried a bollo, which was an absolute waste of time. We did have an 8 number 4 stick set up. I took that off and put this on, and 100% been the best. It's been the best float. If I come back again, I just set up 2 stick floats, one with a bulk and one with strung out shot, and just go between the two. Sorry this is taking so long, ladies and gentlemen, but believe you me, a river barbel fight, really tough. And there'll be a lot of people fishing barbel today, and they're all sat there on feeders, which is absolutely fine, but there's nothing better than hooking them on a float. Might take some time to get them going. It's taken like, oh, what a terrible throw that was. It's taken like 3.5 hours today. Come on. Oh, get out of there. He's going to see his mate. And I said, normally I wouldn't put them in the keep nets, but with the film, with the temperature, you know, I make sure, not the biggest, but if it's a big barb, I just put them straight back. Just make sure they're recovered. What I mean, you can see we've got a 4 metre landing net, which is, I think, is really important for river fishing. There's loads and loads of flow. It isn't hot at all. Yes. Oh, yes. Slightly bigger than the last one. Well, I'm going to call out the session. I'm going to let Zolt get on. Let's just get the hook out. Perfectly hooked. Oh yeah, that's got to be getting on for £5, that one. Zolt, what do you do with me? See, he's taken my disgorge. Yeah, well, I can't get it, can I? Absolutely perfectly hooked. Getting on for £5, that one. Look at that. Oh. Thank you very much. You've made my day. Absolutely amazing. Amazing fish. So I'm going to let him revive in there. I don't think he's going to take a lot of reviving. I think because of the water so cold. No, straight in. No problem at all. So there you go. What an amazing day we've had here. We've caught dace up to sort of 10 ounces. I've caught chub up to £4. And now we've started catching barbel. But we've got to go. Well, Zolt's going to carry on for a bit. I want him to catch a barbel on the stick float, or the moving float if you like. I hope you've enjoyed it. Get out there on the river low, such as the River Wye. Hemping meat. You might have to fish different baits on your local rivers, but there's nothing better. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I have absolutely loved every minute of this. This is bringing back so many memories of when I used to go fishing with my parents and good friends. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the Preston YouTube channel, and see you on the next one.